The third initiation. This initiation focuses on cleaning up or removing the coverings of rittis of the mental body and our relationship to the mental world. Here we are attempting to train the mind to focus and to become silent so that the five senses are stilled in such a way the mind can now penetrate like an arrow into the real and the self we are. The Yoga Sutras have a lot to say about the training of the mind. The first goal is to equip oneself to be able to at first focus and then detach from the mind, so that as we identify first as the soul and then later as spirit or the self, we're understanding how the mind works. The more we do this, the more we see how and why certain thoughts arise. We understand how the mind has been conditioned to think along certain lines. As we gain mastery over the mind, we are increasingly able to decide, what do we want to think? What do we want the mind to engage in throughout the day? How can we look at the things that the mind is focused on to ensure that they are in alignment with the true self that we are? This is especially true when we think about training the mind to think along soulful lines. As we get more understanding of the mind, we loosen, so to speak, the coverings and the vrittis at the level of the mind. At first, in Bailey terms, we are training our mind and our thoughts to become soul-infused. This is essentially what is white magic. The third initiation is also ruled by the fifth ray of concrete science and knowledge. The fifth ray also rules the entire mental plane. The mental plane in Bailey's model is divided into two sections. The fifth ray rules the top section, the plane of the solar angel, and the bottom section of the plane of the lower mind. That's important to understand because the fifth ray, regardless of whether we're working to become soul infused or just the integrated personality, is helping us focus the mind so that we can more objectively and dispassionately observe both inner and outer worlds. The fifth ray, in many ways, is dualistic. I am the observer, observing. I am observing in here what is out there. Even if what is out there is me simply observing, as the observer, my own thoughts. This dualistic process is necessary at this stage. It helps us analyze, discern, become more objective, rational, and reasonable. All of that helps us become more useful, because at the third initiation, we're becoming true pioneers in the world of thought, capable of putting forward thought paradigms. They're called formulas in Bailey's book, A Treatise on Cosmic Fire and A Treatise on White Magic, that revolutionize the world, here's the key thing, for the better. When it's not for the better, we may only be coordinated personalities or integrated personalities. Like Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, we now have an understanding through the awareness that we're achieving in our minds of a vision of the past, present, and future for our planetary logos. And we see what we need to do with our lives to help move humanity forward. As we help humanity, we're also filled with soul qualities. These include humility, compassion, and love. And it's important to understand that through the first and second initiations, we can believe that we are spiritual and following spiritual practices, but we have not yet been truly tested, as was already mentioned, to see if we're really soul infused and not just what Bailey would call an integrated personality. How do we know we're soul tested? How do we know that we've passed those tests? To overcome primarily 1, money, 2, sex or pleasure, 3, power. Only if we've been able to prove in our lives that we can renounce all of that and still serve for the better of humanity are we truly working in the third initiation. And we also, ironically, have the capacity to get the money we need for our service activity in the world without taking much for ourselves, to get an understanding of how to bring more well-being to others. You might call that pleasure, but well-being, let's say, to others, to help them expand their consciousness without being overly attached to the ride has to be pleasurable with no pain in our own lives. And also to have the power to make a real change, to create a paradigm shift in the world without misusing that power to try and protect ourselves. The third initiation is also a lot about filling the mind with love, which we're able to do because of the heart activation that was taking place at the second initiation, which is a major part of the third initiation's ability now to have a mind filled with love. Here we reach the stage in the Yoga Sutras where the sense of I, which we would also call the soul in the Bailey model, it's also known as the Karta in other systems, that sense of I is dissolved. Whenever we have an I experiencing either inner or outer phenomena, we have duality. So far that duality has served us, but now a shift is happening. The non-dual experiences that we have had as early as the first initiation, and we might have had a few more, are becoming more frequent and permanent. The rainbow bridge is being built so that we continuously become conscious, continuity of consciousness, or aware of the infinite self we are. We become established or stabilized within the non-dual self. It's not just a glimpse or a taste or one experience and that's it. It becomes a continual and constant realization and recognition of the self that we are. Now, this doesn't mean that we don't have an individualized spark within the outer world. We do. We still have a manifestation of ourselves as a drop in the ocean, so to speak, and Bailey would refer to that at this level as we still have a soul-infused personality that we can express through, though we might want to say it's becoming more and more spirit-infused personality, or triadal-infused personality, or Atma-Buddhi Manas-infused personality, or Satchitananda personality. We still have that individualized expression, but we're not identified with it. We are identified with the self. This fourth initiation is therefore ruled by the fourth ray of harmony, or harmony through conflict. What are we harmonizing at this level? It seems pretty advanced. What we're harmonizing is the conflict or the tension that exists between the outer and the inner. The realization of the self we increasingly are, and the soul-infused personality, spark, or avatar, you could say, that the self is expressing through into the outer world for the sake of service. As that tension is resolved, we go into the fifth initiation. Now the outer sense of being a drop as the soul-infused or spirit-infused personality out in the world and the self that we are has been bridged. And we reach what in the Yoga Sutras is known as Dharma Mega Samadhi. This is the final samadhi. Here we are able to do our dharma, fulfill our duty in the outer world while still continuously knowing who we are as the self. Now, this initiation is ruled by the first ray of will, purpose, and power. And the person who's reached this level has mastery of the three lower worlds. In other words, they have mastery of their minds. Their minds are soul infused, filled with love, very skilled, able to use those minds, those thoughts, and direct them at will into things that will help and create more synthesis, inclusivity, love, and compassion. And that means we also have a true sense of humility as we do that. We also have mastery of the emotions. We are able to keep them in equanimity. We don't trigger off here and there. And mastery of the sensations, which has included an intimate understanding of the physical body. The master here is also filled with the awareness of the non-dual self and how it expresses in the seemingly dual world. That will, purpose, and power is joined to the mastery one has so that you can be of true service to our planetary logos or earth. You can serve what Bailey calls the divine plan. And because the mind is so clear and lucid, it is able to truly understand what that divine plan is and with full humility and compassion serve it. We are in group 10 of the 10 evolutionary soul groups outlined by the Alice Bailey teachings. And if you want more information on what that group is like, see the videos on group 10 on the patreon.com Soul to Spirit channel. We have reached the end of this video, and I will see you in the next video. If you want to learn more and you're not already watching this through the patreon.com Soul to Spirit channel, go over to the patreon.com Soul to Spirit channel. Lots of perks for you there if you want to join us.